Good morning to everyone, and let me express my appreciation for Germany and Egypt to be hosting this dialogue. I listened carefully, and it is quite evident that there is strong consensus on the issue of loss and damage. All three open remarks recognize that no longer can loss and damage be at the margins of discussion at COP27. I represent the small island developing states, the group of nations that contribute the least in terms of emissions, but suffer the brunt of climate change disasters. What is described as crisis, for us, it is catastrophe. There are small islands that are disappearing. There are small islands that when there is an unusual event, the economies are devastated. In Antigua and Barbuda, in the Bahamas, in the Pacific, one hurricane can do the damage of 2 years' GDP. So for us, we welcome this dialogue. But no longer can we accept that the issue of loss and damage is not worthy of being included on the agenda of COP27. If there is such strong consensus around this table, it is oddly strange that we would not be able to mount the support to get loss and damage on the agenda of COP27. We anticipate that it would be elevated from a provisional agenda and be made a firm agenda on COP27. The Petersberg dialogue should be a dialogue of history. We see it all around us. We see the devastation and the fires in Spain. We see what's happening in Bangladesh. So we don't have to make the case. The evidence is there. What then should prevent us from ensuring that the people in whose name we function, the unborn, do not benefit from the Petersberg dialogue? We need to recognize that we are making decisions in the names of human beings who will inherit this earth. Some of them are yet to be born. I believe that we have a very narrow window to be bold, to be decisive on the issue of climate change. The future generation deserves it, and we'll have ourselves to blame on account if we do not make these decisive decisions. It therefore means that developed countries that are emitting these enormous amounts of carbon dioxide and polluting the atmosphere, they need to step up. And I'm calling on the developed countries to step up and at COP27 to arrive there with increased ambition. If we have such difficulty surviving at 1.5, what happened beyond 1.5? We do not have the luxury of hesitating or procrastinating. We do not have economic power, small island developing states. But we rely on some principle of morality and justice to take action to stop the devastation of our islands. In 2017, between one of our Twin Islands members of the state, Barbuda, was completely devastated. It is now 2022, and we are still trying to rebuild. That cannot be right. And so, Mr. Chair, it's an honor for me to make this brief intervention. But I'd want to say that mitigation, adaptation, and loss and damage are not competing principles. They all can be pursued on parallel tracks. The money is there, the funding is there. And all that has to happen is for these developed countries to stop subsidizing fossil fuel and shift some of those resources to renewable energy. That is what we need. And we need to overcome the political issues because we're in one global space. One global space. And our responsibility, those of us who are here, should recognize that we have a sacred responsibility to our children and our grandchildren. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, for highlighting the existential nature of the threat of loss and damage in your country and many other small island states.